Okay, what's up, guys? It's your boy Pleb. I'm trying to be very quiet because it's 6 a.m. in the morning, so, trying to talk that loud, yeah. So, I was messaging someone in Discord. He's one of my subscribers, okay? And he's new to Grain Cross. Give me 1 second. I was sipping some water. So, he's new to Grain Cross. And, I've been helping him, do raids and stuff, to get some, material. So he can just level up units, work on, getting those units leveled up. Now, I'm not a whale or anything when it comes to Seven Deadly Sins Grain Cross. I don't know everything about this game. There's people who know more. There's people who are whales. They have the best gear. I am mainly free to play. Just free to play. Everything I learned is either I learned it on my own, or gotten some tips, or watch others other Grain Cross YouTubers. Example like Sekapoko, Dark Skin Gaming. So, but I think I'm pretty knowledgeable when it comes to Grain Cross. Even though I'm not the best player. I'm I'm in Champion 5 in PvP. It's I brushed this is one thing I made a mistake, and like I said, this is a guide video. Because when I was messaging this person in Discord and helping him, I was like, man, just texting all of this, is more tedious. When I could just make a video, to help new players, or to, if people want to get into the game, give them a general idea of what to do, what not to do. Because I made lots of mistakes, okay? So, number one, gear. When it comes to gear, you gotta know how to gear your units properly, how to build your units, because gear is very extensive in this game. It's you want the best gear, okay? Like, for example, if you are heavily into PvP, this is one thing I don't want people making a mistake, is don't brush PvP off, okay? Yes, PvP can be a pain in this game. It can be a pain in the ass to do. But, especially now, if you're just getting into the game now, PvP is more, how can I say this? It's a lot different because the meta is kind of weird, for Grain Cross. The meta is I need to find something to do while I talk, for example, the meta is very weird, okay, because you got units like Monspeed that just released, and when Monspeed released on JP, he released at a bad time, but on global, it's different. Them dropping Monspeed, pretty early, is it shifts the meta for PvP. So if you are a new player and you're looking to get into, eventually, let's say you do the story. You complete the story. You've been working on leveling up your unit. And you want to do PvP. There's so many teams you can use for PvP. For example, I was saying I was going to get into talking about gear, but it sort of shift to talking about PvP. So this is general idea of what the meta is like in PvP. You can use mono red. If you got Escanor, if you got Gother, um, if you got Red Arthur, you can use mono red. Like let me just for example, let's see. Let me just I'm missing Escanor, so I can't really build mono red. So let's say for PvP I wanted to use Red King, Gother, and then Arthur, and then in the fourth slot, I would use Red Escanor. So this is something, like it's PvP is very different. Like you can go Pierce, for example. Another PvP team would be let's look at this. So this is going to be like a full guide video, like just to let you know. So this video will be pretty long. So for Pierce, if you don't got Blue Lilia, then it's going to be hard for you to run Pierce team. But if you got Blue Lilia, you can do Blue Lilia, Blue Demon Meliodas. You can use. Trying to think here. Let's see. If you got Mikasa, you can use Mikasa. Because she's actually not bad. Because like I've been using her a lot. And then let's say you got Red King, right? Boom, you can run Red King, but preferably, because Red King is very good in PvP. So if you don't got Red King, you can use Hauser. Okay, you can use Hauser in the place. Now, PvP gear, ungeared PvP gear does not matter. So in ungeared, it doesn't matter about your gear. Gear is non-existent in ungeared PvP. So doesn't really matter. So you can run many teams. You can run Pierce, like you can run Mono Red. This is something you, as a new player, I can't tell you how to do. Like yes, I got tips on, how to do PvP from watching other people videos, but it's more of a learning curve. When it comes to PvP, it's more learning, how to build your team. So, yeah. That's all I'm really going to touch on PvP. This is more so to talk about how to gear your unit and because one of the biggest mistakes I made when I first started playing Grand Cross, 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, when it released about 5 months ago for Global, I made so many mistakes with my gear. And when I made those mistakes, I had to basically go back and rebuild the gear, re-roll gear, which took a lot of resources. Because when you are building your gear, you need Awakening Stones, okay, for SSR gear, which takes a lot of you. You're going through a lot of gold. You're using a lot of Awakening Stones, and you're using a lot of red enhanced stones. Roughly, you are going through so much materials to level up your gear, awakening your gear, all of that. It is so. As a new player, you do not want to make these mistakes. These are mistakes you will regret, and these are mistakes I regret because I wasted so much material. So let's get into it, okay? First, how to build certain units. There are support units in this game that are mainly is their utility, meaning that they will help the units that do damage. Okay, basically support units will basically help your damage unit. So for example, let's look at a unit like Gother. Goat. I can think of there are more support units in this game than there is damage dealing units. So a lot of units you will go, example for Gother. Gother is a utility unit. He is a support unit because what he does is on his rank 3 skill, and even his rank 2. His rank 2 and his rank 3, he will disable the opponent's attack. If it's a rank 2, he will disable the opponent's attack for 1 turn. If it's a rank 3, he will disable their attack for 2 turns. But what makes him really good is this. He basically, on his rank 2, he will increase skill ranks of all allies. His rank 3 will basically increase the skill of your allies' skills. And he will increase the basic stats by 20% for 3 turns. So he's a utility unit. He's a support unit. And with any support unit, you go HP defense. As you see the gear right here, you will go defense HP. Defense HP. And when you are working on your gear, for the top 2, okay, you see the top 2? Okay, let's look at the top 2. You go attack, ignore the pierce, okay? You go attack. So, yeah, basically, I can't reroll. I can't show you. But I can show you with someone like King. So let's look at King, for example. I got gear for King. King is another support unit. King is a support unit. So anytime you build King out, whether it's the blue one, red one, green one, it doesn't matter which one. It doesn't matter if they release a new King. You go HP defense, always. HP defense. And when you are awakening this gear, you go attack. Always go attack. The other stats really don't matter. What matters is attack. So you definitely reroll for attack. If you see right here, I have attack. Attack. It's not the best rolls, So you go attack. For the bottom, for your HP, you go HP. As you see right here, HP. You never, if you look at the stats right here, there's 4. HP, regen, recovery, and lifesteal. Always go HP. Never go any of the others. Okay, so as you see right here, King is HP defense. So you go attack on your stats. Okay, you go for the attack stat and you go for the HP stat, because the more HP and the more attack you have, so the higher your combat class is. And when you are using HP and defense gear, as you see here, HP and defense will give you the highest. Let me show you the highest. You got your combat class. Okay, so for example, right here, I'm going to. Let's go to Blue King. Okay, so I can switch gear right here. Now, my combat class, other people have combat class that is higher than me. So, let's see. Let's throw... Okay, then let's throw... Where are you? Escanor. And let's throw Blue King, okay. Association. Let's do this. Do this. Okay. Okay, right here. So, currently, this is my combat class, okay? So, if I was to run these 4 units, this is the combat class I would have. Because with King, if I'm running, as you see, I'm running HP and defense for King. Now, for, let's say you have Blue Lilia. Blue Lilia is also a support unit. You will go, same thing, Blue Lilia. You go HP defense. You go attack, and you go HP. So you always go HP attack for your stats, no matter. I'm going to give you another prime example. So let's look at Escanor. Escanor, because he's a damage dealing unit. If this was the red Escanor, this is the green one. If this was the red Escanor, you could theoretically go HP defense for the red Escanor. Okay, so if we go to the shop right here, I don't have him. So this guy right here, the red Escanor, you can go HP defense or attack and defense. But since I only have the green one, with the green one, because he's a damage dealing unit, okay, that's what he does. He's raw damage, pure damage. You go attack and defense. Attack and defense. As you see right here, attack, defense. And then it doesn't matter if you're running HP defense. You will always go attack on the stats. Attack. HP. And HP. Now, for the 2 middle ones, as you see right here, personally, it's up in the air. You can go resistance or defense. I was thinking of re-rolling for defense, but to be honest, defense and resistance are both good. If you go right here, look at the stats. His resistance isn't high, but with the so personally, I would say I'm gonna re-roll for defense. So when it comes to the 2 middle, you want to go defense, okay? You want to go for the defense stat. The only time you really use resistance is, for example, Blue Lilia, because he has high resistance. You can go resistance. As you see right here, resistance. Now, for someone like King, let's go back to King. King, you can definitely, if we're talking about the 2 middle, right? If we look at the 2 middle right here, you want to go defense. Always go defense with King, no matter what. Okay, you always go for defense stat for King. Period. Other units who you would use HP defense on. Okay, so units like that are just support that you use HP and defense gear for are Merlin, King, Lilia, Gother, Deanne, Now, Deanne, if you like Deanne, Deanne is a support unit. So you will go, let's see, go down here. You will go HP defense. Deanne is a support. So if you like Deanne support, you go defense. Elaine HP defense, okay? There's not many units you go attack defense, HP defense. There's more units you go that are HP defense, and then there are like really 5 units or so that you like. There's not a lot of units you go attack defense. For example, Esterosa is HP defense. Esterosa, because of his skills and what he does. Yeah. If we're talking about the green Esterosa, you go HP defense, okay? So it's normally attack defense gear, HP defense gear. You don't use crit gear, okay? Never use crit gear, okay? This is, let's see if I have the gear, okay? Let's go to my quest, okay? Okay, right here. You never use crit gear, period. You never use this gear. It's just HP defense, okay? So, and for example, Arthur, since he's mono red, you don't go attack and defense, okay? You go HP defense. Arthur is support, pure support. You go HP defense. Trying to think. So, yeah. Let me. Yeah. So, as I said before, this is how gear should be. Units like Meliodas. Okay, I'm just gonna give you the breakdown. I'm gonna tell you the units that you go HP defense on. Okay, to just narrow it down for you, I'll tell you the characters that you go attack defense, HP defense. Escanor. It doesn't matter which Escanor it is. If it's the red Escanor, that's a debatable topic. You can go attack defense for him, but mainly Escanor, attack defense, okay? Meliodas. Any Meliodas, whether it's blue, green, purple, doesn't matter. Meliodas, always attack defense. King. King, like I said, King every time. HP defense. Merlin. HP defense. Doesn't matter which Merlin it is. Every Merlin. Every one. HP defense. Gother. HP defense. Always. This is for like every Gother. Arthur. Doesn't matter if it's blue, red, purple, green. Doesn't matter. Arthur. HP defense. Lilia. HP defense. Like I said, Lilia support, HP defense. Deanne, same thing. HP defense. Always. Elizabeth. Elizabeth has always been mainly support. Utility, support, HP defense, always. So as you see, there's not many units you go attack and defense. That's how gear is. and that's the gear you will use. And it doesn't, when it comes to like whether you're running attack and defense gear or HP defense gear, when it comes to the stats, your basic stats, like I said, you go attack, 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 HP, HP, and then defense. Defense. So that's how your gear should be. Hopefully, I sort of narrowed this down to help you and show you like how your units should be built. Like, so in the future, you know how to build the units, how to gear them, and this is basically for current units. Yeah. I don't really have mod speed, so I can't tell you how to build mod speed. But I would, okay, let's say you got mod speed. I don't have him. This is a skip banner. This banner is purely skip. But let's say you were dumb enough to summon and just wanted to throw gems away, right? Let's say you got the green mod speed. Okay? Let's look at his skills. Inflicts weak point. Okay. Skill 1. Inflicts damage and deletes one skill. Okay, which is OP. Remove stances. Okay. So, let's say you pulled the green mod speed. Right? You would go for attack and defense, okay? For green mod speed, you would go attack and defense, okay? Let's say you pulled Estarossa. Okay? Estarossa is pure utility and purely support. You would go HP defense. Like, that's what Estarossa is. HP defense gear. So, it's like, yeah. So, since we got the gear out of the way, hopefully you guys don't make the mistakes of gearing your units wrong. Now, this video is pretty long. Wow, okay. So, let's look at in-game, right? You're probably wondering, if you're a new player, you're wondering, okay, how do you get this purple thing? Okay, I see right here, once you awaken a piece of gear to 5 stars, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5 stars. You can engrave. Okay, so let's go over here. Engrave. Let's say I wanted to engrave, right? So I would choose. Okay, so I choose the character I want to give you our gear to. Okay. Okay, so let's select Escanor. Okay, so let's select this right here. Now you're probably wondering, how do you get this, right? How do you get this? So if you go over to where King is, go to exchange materials. There is a item that you need, right? That's right here. You need 6 awakening stones. Right? Once you have like 6 awakening stones, you get this item called you get this right here. This item you need 1 to awaken the a gear to UR. Now, how to UR your gear? Like, how do you get that? Now, awakening stones are easy. You get the 5-star awakening stones from just doing a raid. Okay, like you do a raid, you get one 5-star stone. Okay, that's easy. Now, in order to awaken, we go back over to where Merlin is. We go to engrave. We select the equipment. You need equipment engraving stones. Now, engraving stones you get. This is in game. This is like when you as a new player, you won't be able to do this like right away. Basically, it's training. Um, I can. Okay, it closes in 6 hours. So I go over here. When it comes to training cave, training cave. So you want to always do the level 3. Always do level 3. Okay. So right here. Okay. So as you see right here, once you let's say I went into this, all right? Let's say so let me just show you. I might as well show you. I don't know if I'll be actually be able to complete this. I have no clue. I haven't really tried it. Okay, so right here, let me just show you. Okay, so let's get into this. So basically, from training cave, you can get the engraving stones. Okay, the engraving stones that are required to UR gear. And you get other stuff. The other stuff you get awakening stones, you get anvils, hammers. So let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so right here, I'm just showing you what training cave is like. Okay. Okay, right here. As you see, training cave is pretty hard. It's not easy. As you see, I barely survived. Okay, so when I complete it, after I complete it, basically from it you'll get anvils and keys, right? So as you see right there, once you complete one stage, it automatically locks your characters, meaning that you can't use those characters again. So as you see right here, if I go back, I can't use those characters, right? They are locked. They're not they are unusable, and as you see right here, unusable. Now, from this, basically you see this bar right here, this yellow bar. Once you fill up this bar to 100%, you basically fight your own team. And basically you're fighting your own characters, and from that you get these equipment engraving stones, which in turn, once you have like 10 of these, you need 10 of these, okay? As you see right here, you go back. Go to engrave, and you go to equipment. You need one of the 6 stars. You need 1 6-star awakening stone, and you need 10 engraving stones, which will let you UR gear. And here's the thing. Personally, when it comes to, UR gear, okay. Who to give UR gear to? That's like, I'm not telling you like how. If you want to give UR gear to Slater or Gustav, go ahead. If you like them, go ahead. But if you're a free-to-play player, then you want to give UR gear to, units that are more important, that takes priority. So Merlin is very good. Like green Merlin, red Merlin, very good. Especially green Merlin. So definitely Merlin is worth giving UR gear to. King is a absolute must to give UR gear to, because he's very, very good. Lilia, if you got blue Lilia, then I would say give her UR gear. Mikasa is very good. Personally, I want to give UR gear to Mikasa, but I gotta take priority over other units. So, Escanor number 1. Okay, like Escanor, green Escanor, red Escanor, definitely give him UR gear. So, Merlin, King, Escanor, Lilia, Mikasa, Deanne is another good option to give UR gear to. Hauser is a good option. So like those are units that like you can give UR gear to. But priority wise, if I had to say, if you had to pick, okay, as a free to play player, if you had to pick 3 units, right? Okay, because personally, I'm giving UR gear to 3 units right now because that's what I can do. If you had to pick 3 units to, give UR gear to first, I would say Escanor, number 1, King, number 2, and Merlin would be number 3. Okay. Now, when it comes to UR gear, don't give UR gear to the entire set. Okay. Don't UR the entire set. Okay. So just do the top 2. Okay. You want to do the bottom 2. So give UR gear to the bottom 2, and then give UR gear to the top 2. Don't do the middle. Don't give UR gear to the middle. Do the top 2 and the bottom 2. And one last thing when it comes to gear. This is literally the last thing when it comes to gear. This is one mistake. Okay. So let's say, okay, so I'm going to use Meliodas as an example, right? So as you see right here, I am re-rolling gear for Meliodas, okay? Because Pierce, while Meliodas is great for Pierce, I was like, I'd rather have attack, right? Okay, so as you see right here, anvils. Don't waste these anvils just willy-nilly, okay? Let's say don't chase. Point being is don't chase for the best stat, okay? So let's take Lilia for example, right? I have a 1.5 attack, right? If you get a attack roll on your stat, right? It doesn't matter if it's good or bad, right? As you see, I got 1.5. I'm not going to re-roll that, okay? The reason you don't re-roll that is because let's say you got these hammers, right? Basically, these hammers. You got anvils and hammers, right? Okay. Basically, this hammer will increase the basic stat of your current stat, right? So let's go over here, right? Let's say I had 5 of the hammer of these hammers of Vazil, right? And I used 5 of them. I will have a chance to increase this 1.5 attack to a higher stat, right? So it could go from, I use 5, right? Let's say I had 5, I use 5 of the hammers of Vazil, right? And it could go from 1.5 to 2.5. So it doesn't matter if I'm going to see if I can. Let's go over here, right? So let's say I'm re-rolling. Let's see if I can get an attack just to show you. Okay, right there. As you see right there, 1.7. I used 5 anvils, right? I got a 1.7 attack. That's better than nothing. I'm not going to re-roll that 1.7 and, like risk getting a crappy roll, right? So it doesn't matter if the stat is bad, right? It goes with your gear. It doesn't matter if you get a 1% HP, right? Or a 1% attack roll. Stick with that, because if you save your hammers, right? You save these hammers right here. Hammers of Vazil. You can use those hammers to re-roll the attack to get a higher attack. And I'm just doing. Might as well just use this. Let's see. Okay, crit chance. That's terrible. That's fucking awful. Crit chance. So, anvils are meant to. So you got anvils and the hammers. Anvils are meant to re-roll a shitty stat. Okay, so if you got a crappy stat like recovery rate, then use the hammers. Not the hammers. Use the anvils. Use the anvils to re-roll it and hopefully get HP. Or if you got a shitty stat on your attack gear and you won't attack, then use the anvils and hopefully get an attack. But once you get that HP stat or that attack stat, you keep it. And then eventually, when you get more of these hammers right here, you can re-roll that attack to get a higher attack. So that's the last bit of information on gear. Hopefully this video helps you guys. Hopefully. So yeah. Peace out.